Welcome to Fashionable Trash Talk. I'm your host, Ashley Aaliyah. Here I analyze and discuss the fashion of celebrities and anyone influential. Welcome to Fashionable Trash Talk with your host, Ashley Aaliyah. Today we will be discussing how I would style Taylor Rooks if she were my client. For those of you who don't know, Taylor Rooks is an American sports journalist. You possibly have seen her conducting interviews with several NFL, NBA, WNBA, pretty much anyone who plays sports. Taylor Rooks pretty much has had her hands in it. So let's look over Taylor's fashion. So here is Taylor's overall fashion. From what I gather, she wears a lot of gowns, dresses, plays up her shoulders and legs and figure a lot in the pieces that she wears. Her pieces also seem very mature, which I'm going to get into. And it seems like she keeps her palette very neutral with some random times having a burst of color. But I do have a few thoughts. I do think she dresses fairly well compared to her peers, but I still have a few thoughts. Okay, so here are my thoughts about Taylor Rooks' style. First of all, I think it's way too mature. I think she's only 32 years old, and I understand wanting her to be more conservative based off of the line of work that she has. But I feel like she is styled like she's in her mid to late 40s versus being a smoking hot 32-year-old that's in one of the best professions you can be in. And I think that we see this issue a lot with women who society deems as Black excellence, if you will. Because I think Quinta Brunson, sorry if I'm saying her last name wrong, she has the same issue where I think she's styled way too mature. They start doing the same thing with Marsai Martin. I may be saying her name wrong, but that's the girl who played on Blackish. And what's the movie called Little with Issa Rae? And so she told pretty much them to pump their brakes, and she got them together and they started dressing her like she was an 18-year-old that was hyped to be an adult now. So I think Taylor has that same issue. I think that these new stylists don't really understand that fashion is such a spectrum. And the middle ground doesn't have to be either I dress like an Instagram girl or I'm dressing way too mature. Like, I feel like a lot of the pieces that she wears, I can see Angela Bassett in, or Regina Hall or Regina King. It's not necessarily to say that they're bad pieces, but I think they're just way too mature for her. I also think that the people who style Taylor, and this is something I spoke about before, I hate stylists who rely on the fact that their clients are pretty or fit. I feel like a lot of Taylor's styling is based around that, where it's like, I'm going to put her in anything that I feel like is conservative or businesslike enough, but because Taylor is so beautiful, I know she could just pull it off. And that's not what styling is supposed to be about. But I see stylists do that so much, where it's just like, if the person has the looks, if they have a big enough following, they just feel like they can just put whatever on them because they know the fan base is just going to eat it up, versus them doing their job and curating a lasting style that's going to work for them. And I think a great example of someone who did not rely on reputation is Law Roach. He's finally getting his flowers, but he actually, and I'm only using him because I can't think of many stylists who actually curated an entire look for their client. Like, what he did with Zendaya is what the people are supposed to be doing. And they're just not. They're not. Fashion goes so much with people's images and how they're perceived. And I just don't like how, I think that's why all the people now that are in the industry don't really have looks, because everybody's relying on the fact that these girls are pretty, they're attractive. So therefore, I don't have to do my job because they're cute. People are going to love what they wear either way because they love you. And no, do your job, create a look for them. So this is the direction that I would take Taylor in if she were my client and I were styling her. And I just think what I came up with fits Taylor so perfectly while still checking off those boxes that are necessary based off the career that she's in. I think for fashion, Karen Parsons should be on the mood board for Taylor Rooks. I think her 90s style would be perfect for Taylor because it still has that covered conservative feel to it, but it has a bit of youthfulness to it and a bit of sex appeal. And I would love to see some of that in her style. I would love to see more color too and more prints. And I would love to see her in more suits and like kind of like skirt suits and pantsuits and things like that. I would love to see her in more fun pieces. So I think Karen's style from, of course, playing on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and her overall style outside of the show, kind of like how Sarah Jessica Parker kind of morphed into Carrie Bradshaw even outside of the show. I think this type of style would be so perfect for her. And will just kind of give her that youthful air that I want her to have so bad because, like I said, she's 32. She is beautiful. The body is everything. I feel like we need to see more styling geared towards that. Yeah, that's like I said, I would love just to see her in more pieces that look more age appropriate for her. And even if she does dark colors, at least have it be sexy. For makeup, Lark Voorhees. Oh my God. I think Taylor's so pretty. And I think Lark was just such a 90s beauty. One of my favorite depictions of her and her beauty was when she was on How to Be a Player. She was just a baddie on there. And I don't think we discussed Lark enough, but I think her makeup is just like that middle ground between Girl Next Door, but like grown woman. Like, I think that is just her thing. And I think this type of glam will look way better on Taylor. I feel like Taylor makeup isn't over the top, but it's still too mature. Like, I want her to be in like the sexy love interest in a 90s movie. I want Taylor makeup to kind of give that versus, like I said, it's just too mature. I want it to be fun, sexy. I always say flirty. Like, I want more of that from Taylor versus what we're currently getting. I think this would just be so fitting for her, and I think it would still be within her comfort zone. For hair, I want Tatiana Ali to be on Taylor's mood board. Every now and again, we may see Taylor in braids, but she usually wears her natural hair. And I just love how effortless Tatiana Ali hair always looked. How like the layers, if she went short, it was just so much versatility in it. And if she went longer, it was still cute. And it was just like a natural beauty feel about it. And I think that Taylor has that same feel about her. So I think Tatiana Ali would be absolutely perfect for her mood board just because you don't really see hair like this anymore. You know, I always talk about how everything is either super wiggy or like we have weaves that's coming down to the ankles. And I would love to start to see more glam like this. Like I said, this is already Taylor's comfort zone, but I would love to see her lean more into this direction of being more playful with the styles that she has, like with her natural hair. I just think this look would be everything on her. Okay, so that is how I would style Taylor Rooks if she was my client. Pretty much I'm trying to turn Taylor into a 90s sitcom baddie. That's pretty much what I'm trying to turn her into. I think that look would be so perfect for her. I truly do feel like it would still be work appropriate because, again, that does have to play a factor in her style. But like, I would love to see more of that direction with her and her leaning more into being like this beautiful woman that's in her 30s, that's blossoming in her career versus being styled like she's in her 40s. Like, I get it. We want her to be, you know, conservative and a little bit more buttoned up. She doesn't have as much room to play with her style as the other girls may have to play with, but it doesn't mean we have to go so far left with it. So if you would like to book me for styling services, you can visit my website, www.ashleyaleah.com. If you would love to follow me or like to follow me on socials, TikTok and Instagram, my page is Ashley_Aleah. All right, see you guys tomorrow.